me. You're not meant to shoot me. I'm supposed to shoot you. God damn it. The name's Steve. wheelysteve. What? Alright, come on. Be honest, admit it. Some of you saw the thumbnail and you assumed I was going to complain about M being black. It's okay. I'm not going to judge. But I see you. I see you. It was quite a while ago now that I actually initially heard rumors, scuttlebutt, from some of the couple of sources that I'm privy to, that the guys and gals who make the Hitman games were going to be making a Bond game. I never really truly believed it, at least not for a bit. It felt too perfect. I mean, just the sheer idea alone of that team making a Bond game would get me so goddamn excited just at the prospect of it. Okay, well, can you blame me? Like I said, it was perfect. The games, the later games especially, are, at least in part, what you would imagine a Bond game would be like. Just less bold. But we didn't hear anything for the longest time, just rumors, speculation. And then recently, we finally got the announcement and the trailer. And I did what everybody else did. No. I watched it. Can I just say, by the way, I absolutely hate these lids. Whoever came up with the idea of attaching lids to bottles, someone slap them for me, please. So there it was. This thing that I had been so excited for all this time was finally in front of me. I could actually see it with my own eyes and confirm it was real. It was a very, very exciting moment. And so I watched the trailer, and my initial reaction to the trailer is that I have questions. Okay, I admit, I'm shooting from the hip a bit, definitely, with this entire video. I mean, I don't know why I specify these things, because I'm nearly always shooting from the hip on these videos. It's not just the trailer. The trailer definitely, when I saw it, made me have questions. But then I also saw some other things in YouTube videos that I watched, in interviews that I saw them doing, or that I read. It all kind of has compounded together to make me ask this one important question, which is, should we be concerned about the James Bond game that's coming out? And more importantly, is it going to be the James Bond game we want it to be? Or at least that I want it to be. I'm assuming what I want it to be, you probably want it to be. Right from the very start, in the announcement, right from the off, they're saying about how this is going to be a reimagining of Bond. So already, they're kind of setting us up for the idea that this isn't going to be the Bond that you maybe think it's going to be. It's going to be a new Bond. And when you watch the trailer, the first thing that stood out to me was Bond's quite young. Bond's pretty young in this. And I could only reliably find one other version of Bond, if it even counts, where he is young. And that is James Bond Jr., I think it's called, The Kids Show.
Bond. James Bond Jr.
Casino Royale kind of did the whole, he's new to the job and the role. But if you think about it really, even in Casino Royale, he's not young. You still get the impression that he is very experienced. He's lived through a lot of stuff, gone through some shit, and that is why he is now capable of being a 007. He's seen things that most people wouldn't be able to see and come through to the other side of. this James Bond, at least the James Bond that we seem to be getting in this trailer, I hate to say this, but I'm feeling more like he's going to lean more into sort of a Nathan Drake style persona.
I suppose this is another teachable moment.
In fact, do you know what it reminds me of more than that? The Han Solo prequel. Remember that? I've just thought of that now. And yes, absolutely. It feels like you're taking this character who is established as being really cool and charismatic and sure of himself, and you're going to take him and make him maybe still very sure of himself and confident, but he's going to be, in a way, less cool. He's going to be a bit of a brat. Or at the very least, he's going to be inexperienced. And so he's not going to be the really assured, confident character that we kind of expect a Bond character to be. Here's the thing. This might be a really controversial thing for me to say. I just want to play as James Bond at his best. I want to play as proper James Bond. I want to play as James Bond who knows exactly what he's doing, he's at the peak of his powers. And then you can tell the story of maybe down the line things go wrong for him or whatever, but I want to be, for a while, big bad James Bond. The big badass beer bonking Bond. That's what I want to be.
Because I think you're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur, a relic of the Cold War, whose boyish charms, though wasted on me, obviously appeal to that young woman I sent out to evaluate you.
I like that.
And it's not just Bond either. Like I said about M earlier, when I look at that character in the trailer, she does look older than Bond, but I still feel like she looks young. I mean, to my generation of people, you've got Judi Dench, I would say, who feels like the most relevant incarnation of M. And M was always kind of a motherly figure, in a sense. She was always kind of someone who had been through this for so long. She was so experienced and aged that now she could actually fulfill the role of M. And when Judi Dench left the role, they went to Ralph Fiennes, who, admittedly, younger than Judi Dench, but again, it kind of had that fatherly figure sort of feeling to it, like that parental figure. And by the way, side note, no, M does not stand for mum. Okay? Because I keep seeing people saying that. It's like, no. They're not saying mum or mom, they're saying mom. It annoys me how many people actually get that wrong. Like I say, when I come back to the trailer, M is kind of young and maybe a bit too young, at least in my mind, for what I would always imagine M to be. M should always be like, at least in my mind, quite a bit older than the agents, any of the agents. And I feel like she's young enough still, like she could still be an agent. That's just weird to me. Again, it's this idea of we're going to reimagine it, and it could be fine. Could be absolutely fine. But I keep seeing these red flags of it's going to be a reimagining, and they're saying it in a bunch of places that this is going to be our version of Bond. This is our Bond. The whole point of, to me, having the Hitman team making a Bond game is because that slower pace translated into a Bond game could be perfect. Another example of kind of what I envision the perfect Bond game to be, it's a combination of the Hitman trilogy, but again, less bold, and a game from about 12 to 15 years ago. I don't know exactly how long ago it was. A very janky game that a lot of people don't really care for all that much, but I absolutely love it. Alpha Protocol. Alpha Protocol is a glitchy, somewhat unfinished mess at times, but it's also fantastic. And I wish somebody out there would find a way to remake Alpha Protocol and do it with love and care and make it amazing. Make it the game it was always meant to be. But that's kind of what I always imagined Bond to be. The perfect Bond video game to be in my mind. Alpha Protocol meets Hitman. And I thought we were maybe going to get that. Now I'm not so sure. Because that is what IO Interactive are great at. The best thing to me about those Hitman games is when you're just out there existing, watching, working things out, and you're slowly starting to put together the perfect job. The action's good in Hitman, it is. But my favourite part of those games is not the action. It's the build-up to the hit. And to me, I thought that they could take their skills that they've got with that and the style that they've already kind of aped some of James Bond anyway, and really apply it to a Bond game, and it would just like, yeah, why not? My hope is that this trailer is actually just a launch trailer that's an amalgamation of a bunch of things, but we haven't really seen what the game is yet. And all of this talk about we're reimagining it, it's our Bond, this is our take on Bond, all that really is just hype and marketing speak for we're doing our own story, but don't worry, it's still Bond. It's still going to be Bond in the way that you would imagine it would be. But I want your opinion. What do you think? Are we in a situation where we might actually need to worry a bit about this game? Is it just going to be more action-oriented than not actually lead into the more investigative, slower-paced kind of style that I really kind of hope it is? Because maybe they're scared of, oh, that's going to be boring to some people. Maybe. It's not like I'm not still excited for the game, for God's sake. I'm still very excited by it. But I just kind of don't want it to be another James Bond game that's mainly action-oriented. We had so many of those back in the day. They were all crap. Nobody knew how to do a Bond game. They always tried to turn it into a action game, a shooter. GoldenEye is probably the only one that ever got it right in a sense. But even then, it's like it was only the way it was because of the limitations of the time. We don't have those limitations anymore. We can literally make a great Bond game where you are, as Bond, roaming around, picking up information, literally becoming one with the environment, blending in, getting bits of knowledge from manipulating people. Or we could just do away with all of that and just shoot lots of bad guys. Really don't want that to be the Bond game.